That's just not cool.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker. This is WPwatercooler, episode 94. Today we're going to be talking about selling WordPress themes, marketplace, or selling them on your own website. Let's go around the room real quick and get everyone introduced. We're going to go in alphabetic order with Chris.
Hi there. My name's Chris Lema. I blog over at chrislema.com, and you can find me on Twitter as well. And I run the North County San Diego WordPress meetup.
Very nice. What's up, Mike? Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike McAlister, and I have an independent theme shop called Array, and I actually started on ThemeForest. I sold there for about 4 years before leaving earlier this spring and going independent.
Nice. What about you, Rebecca?
My name is Rebecca Gill. I'm founder of Web Savvy Marketing. We have a theme shop and do custom website builds using the Genesis framework.
What about you, Steve?
I am Steve Zenkit. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress meetup. And tonight's meetup is the design meetup hosted by Sarah Weefald, and she's going to talk about theming.
Very cool. Suzette, how about you?
Hello, everybody. I'm Suzette Franck. I'm the WordPress evangelist here at Media Temple, and my next WordCamp is in Milwaukee.
How many WordCamps have you done this year?
I stopped counting this year, but I think it's like 7 or 8.
How about you, Syed?
Hey, I'm Syed Balkhi. I'm the founder of WP Beginner, and today we're running the largest WordPress giveaway at WP Beginner to help build a school. That's $26,000 in prizes. If you want to win, go to WPBeginner.com.
Sweet. I just jumped through all those hoops, man. I'm excited.
Thank you.
How about you, Tom?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Tom McFarlin. I run Pressware, which is an independent theme/plugin shop. It's still getting up and off the ground. I also do client work under the Pressware brand. You can find me on Twitter at Tom McFarlin, and I'm here on the show again to talk more about where to sell themes, and I'm quite excited about it.
Sweet. I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me on Twitter, Jason Tucker, and I also blog about video and audio at wpmedia.pro. So we talked a little bit about ThemeForest. I heard Mike mention that. Should we jump into ThemeForest already, or should we talk about a few other things first? What do you think, Chris?
Well, let's first set the stage for the question. The overall question of the show is, if you're getting into themes, where's the best place to sell them? And what we have, representative here is someone like Tom, who has sold Mayor for the longest time on WordPress.com. So that's one channel. You have Rebecca, who has sold it on her own site. She has her own store on her regular site, Web Savvy Marketing, and that's another channel that you could use. And Mike, who currently is selling it at Array.is, but for the longest time was on ThemeForest and selling some of the, not only the prettiest, but also some of the most well-coded themes on ThemeForest, as opposed to other themes on ThemeForest, which we don't ever have to talk about. Aveda. So
That's a weird cough you got.
It's crazy, yeah.
Crazy.
And so what happens is you have several different approaches. Syed has also spun up a new theme company as well, and so my understanding, Syed, is that you're also selling it on your own site as opposed to another marketplace. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah, and so we tried to bring a bunch of different people on the show to ask the question, right? If you're stepping into this space, what's the best channel to use? And what are the upsides and what are the downsides of each different channel, so that people could look at that and say, okay, given what I've heard today, this is what I'm thinking I should do. So with that, suffice to say that we have myself and Jason and Suzette and Steve to essentially bring comic relief to all these other folks who actually know something.
Is that all I'm here for?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Why don't we start, Mike? Why don't you tell us a little about your transition? Only because I know you were using one channel and you've switched to a different one. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, sure. I sold on ThemeForest for about 4 years in total. Started back in like 2009 when it was just a baby, so there wasn't a ton of action on there, but it was up and coming. And then fast forward, 4 years, 5 years to 2014. I was started to get a little itch because after being on a marketplace that long, you start to feel a little trapped. And I was feeling trapped by some of the limitations of the licensing options that I chose, which was on ThemeForest you have the option of going exclusive, which means that you sell your themes on ThemeForest, and that's it. You can't sell them on your own site. You can also have non-exclusive, which means you can sell on ThemeForest and your other site, but you do so at a much lower percentage of sales. So that was one thing that was starting to constrict me, was that I wanted to use my themes more creatively and maybe do a bundle and do some creative marketing and sort of get them, outside of the marketplace, because the marketplace is a very contained environment. So you're selling to the same people in a lot of instances, or the same kind of buyer. And so for me, it was just about getting out there and really making my themes work for me. So I started Array, and I left ThemeForest entirely instead of going the route of doing like the half and half thing. So I just made a run as an independent theme shop.
Awesome. How long have you been doing that, the independent theme shop?
Right. So I launched, I think in April was when I officially left, and so yeah, a few months.
Nice.
It's going pretty great. Obviously, when you leave a giant marketplace like that, you give up traffic, you give up the automatic marketing, sort of, and there's just the reach. These marketplaces, such as ThemeForest, they have millions of visitors a day, I imagine. So you give up a lot, but you also get a lot in return. You sort of get that control back. Yeah.
That's awesome. Syed, you obviously just getting into it as you bought a theme company and started getting your team working on several themes at once. You obviously had to think about that same choice and decided not to go a ThemeForest route, but to go kind of independent. What went on in your thinking, or how are you evaluating it?
Primarily, I was evaluating based on the control that we have in terms of the conversion funnels that we would employ, the affiliate program that we would employ. As you know, I'm pretty big into the affiliate industry, and one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that ThemeForest affiliate program is not really an affiliate program. It's actually a referral program. So you don't get paid for every sale you make. And if you're trying to use affiliate marketing as a big strategy of yours for promotion, then most affiliates probably wouldn't use it, because they don't get commission per sale.
Tell people more about that, right? So it says affiliate on the header, and you get an affiliate URL, right? So what is it people don't understand?
So essentially, what happens is that when somebody refers a sale, or a user goes in, ThemeForest only pays you for a new customer. So if you who already have an account at ThemeForest and you go and refer a second sale, then it won't work. Yes, they're calling it an affiliate program, but you only get the money on their first deposit. So a returning customer, so many people are already a member of ThemeForest, is no good to you or any affiliate who want to promote any theme on ThemeForest. So that was the biggest deal. Second, email marketing. We are doing event-based marketing on our website. So if somebody goes and takes this action or go on to do the next thing, we want to have all of that data so we can appropriately advertise some of our other products that we have. Same thing with the email funnel that we have going on. It just allowed us to have a better product and overall, and also the integration. If we want to integrate and upsell and cross-sell other products that are not just ours, we also have that control, so we can build up alliances and partnerships to grow the business.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. Rebecca, you were not an initial fan of starting a theme store, and it was your own company staff that kind of kept pushing to do it. But it's now a fairly profitable and worthwhile endeavor on the site, and you've had it on your site. Have you had any challenges by running it on your own site?
We use WooCommerce, so if WooCommerce has a hiccup, that's my biggest challenge. I think for us, it was easy for us to get rolling because I knew SEO. I think if you didn't know SEO or were unfamiliar with social media and you tried to launch into a theme store hosted on your own site, that would be a huge challenge. Because you have to have some type of knowledge in those kind of arenas to be able to make it a success. So, for us, our biggest limitations have just been like the technology that we've used and growing along with WooCommerce, because we launched it 2 years ago when Woo was still kind of a baby, at that time. It wasn't quite what it is today.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, these days I know a lot of folks are selling WordPress plugins and WordPress themes. In fact, some are selling WooCommerce extensions using easy digital downloads, and that's the irony of all ironies. But that is just a preview of another show that we will have, and I'm sure we'll have other people, some of you, back to talk about that. Now, one of the things you do, Rebecca, is that you're doing Genesis child themes. So
Yes.
It's not only a theme store; it's a very specific theme store.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How's that worked?
I think for us, it helps us greatly because we're the biggest Genesis theme store outside of StudioPress. That right there gives us a name and it gives us recognition in the marketplace. So that instead of trying to stand out and just a crowd of regular WordPress things, we don't. We stand out because we're the biggest Genesis store, besides StudioPress. So that right there, helped us a lot. And there was at one point where I thought about, and we even went down the path of converting our themes to just regular WordPress. And as soon as we started to do it, I don't even remember what happened, and it was a red flag going off that it was just the wrong path. We've carved a niche. We've really excelled in that. Why break it? So I pulled back. So I think it's one of the best decisions that we did was marry ourselves to Genesis and go that route.
Yeah. Well, the other benefit of that, just like Mike was talking about, there's a certain kind of person that shows up to ThemeForest, looking with certain expectations and certain segments, certain kind of money in terms of what they're willing to spend. And if you're already buying a Genesis base that is the price of a ThemeForest theme, and then you're going to go buy a child theme on top of it for another price, you're already pushing yourself out of maybe the ThemeForest segment, which will save you a lot of hassle on so many other support-oriented fronts and everything else, right?
I do have to tell people, though, so since we sell themes for dentists and accountants and doctors and that type of thing, it's all niche-based, I do have a lot of customers who are not Genesis users. They're literally the accountant or the lawyer, and they need to know why they should use Genesis. So that is an extra hurdle that they have to go through, both a learning curve as well as the purchase of Genesis. But once you just explain it, I kind of have a canned email that says, here's why we love Genesis, you will too, here's some good information. They do it, and oh, by the way, and then I'm affiliate for Genesis, I make revenue that way too, because they use my affiliate link.
Bam.
So it's worth the effort to do that, because we do make a lot of money through the Genesis affiliate program.
I don't know if you were paying attention, but Syed's face just completely lit up the moment you said, and then I'm affiliate, and that's the way you play that.
That's right.
Awesome. Tom, tell us a little about WordPress.com. I mean, that's an entirely different marketplace. One which gets a lot of traffic, a lot of eyeballs, but you also got to kind of keep fresh to stay towards the top there, right?
Yes, that's correct. So to give a little bit of background, this is not my first foray into WordPress.com. With a previous venture, I was selling a theme in there, and I opted personally not to go with any other marketplace when I set up Pressware. I opted not to go with anything except WordPress.com and then self-hosted installations. And if there's time, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the challenges that come with WordPress.com, or one of the advantages, is that there is a big audience. There are people who are looking for websites for or blogging, and they know that it's free, but then they look at these themes and they say, maybe I should invest a little money in this, because they find out that they enjoy writing, and that presentation actually matters. And then what happens is you put a theme in there, and then if you don't keep it updated, or if you don't keep new themes coming in, you're going to kind of get lost in this. You're going to get kind of lost in there. So you've got to do things that I don't know if diversify is the right word, but help make your work stand out. And Rebecca really hit on this, I think, when she's talking about niche-based products. With WordPress.com specifically, I don't know if I would go in and say, hey, if you're in the real estate business, you should be purchasing a theme on WordPress.com. But if you're into writing themes specifically for people who want to blog, they want to publish cross-post stuff from Instagram or some other social network, or they just want a standard blog or like a Tumblr style blog, WordPress.com is more geared towards just your traditional blogger. And then the second thing is that control is, and Mike really hit on this as well, is that the reason that I opted not to go into any of the other marketplaces is because I wanted to be able to have complete control over licensing, over release, over marketing, over any kind of the financial aspects of it, the business aspects of it, all of that stuff that comes with it. That's not to say that this decision is any better than choosing to go with a marketplace, because there are advantages to that as well. But I think that one thing that when you offered for is that I think it's a longer climb to build that audience. And as Rebecca mentioned, if you're not familiar with even just basic SEO or marketing your work, blogging about it, tweeting about it, getting other people to share about it, you're not even going to even start to climb. So you've got to begin putting in work. It's not just enough like they build it and they will come does not apply. Like that works if there's a new building out down the street, and they might come, and they may come once. But if you just throw a theme out on the web, no one's going to know about it unless you begin writing about it and promoting it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That pretty much explains why Steve hasn't gotten into themes yet. But when he
all he has to do is blog and he'll make a theme? Is that what you're telling us, Chris?
Once he moves past blogging once a year.
Here it comes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because his blog is still on Drupal. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's his blogspot.
The
conflicts of interest.
Apparently, I'm only here for comic relief.
Yeah. Yearly blog spotting is not the way to go, Steve.
Blog spotting.
I just updated my MySpace.
That's what Steve does.
Move on.
All right. So here's a question for you guys, right? Here's a question for you, and it's open to any of you, right? Is if you wanted to maximize your revenue over a single month, right? Because most themes, I don't know if you guys read the article from Obox CEO that said basically most his themes made most of their money within 3 weeks of their release or whatever. So let's just assume we're talking about a single month, and you want the biggest bang for your buck, the most revenue, right? And that's it. You imagine that you're only existing and your entity only exists and you only have to do support. You have just 1 month, right? But you want to maximize revenue. What's the best play?
I would say that it definitely depends on what kind of theme you're going to be releasing, because different marketplaces play to different customers. So if you're going to build one of those jack of all trades themes that you might see on ThemeForest, obviously that's the crowd for that. But if you're looking to create something that's more curated and for customers who are newer to WordPress, WordPress.com is that's their bread and butter, is catering to those people who do like themes that just activate and work. But yeah, it definitely depends on the marketplace, I would say.
I think a lot of it has to do with your talent set, because if you are not a strong marketer, if you're an introverted coder who that's all they know, you're not going to be able to do social media well. You're not going to be able to do SEO. You're probably not going to write good marketing copy. You have to go towards a marketplace to sell for you, and that's going to be a big limitation, and that's your route, or WordPress.com. I mean, that's you don't have a choice, because you're not going to excel in those other areas. Or unless you're Syed, affiliate marketing is a mystery to a lot of people, and you have to know about that if you want to excel in affiliate marketing and sell it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big, like to generalize, I agree with everything that's been said this far, but just at like a 30,000-foot view, I think the quickest way to get the most bang for your buck is to throw the theme into a marketplace, because there's a predefined audience. Yes, there are exceptions and anomalies based on the type of theme that you're creating, but if you're doing an average run-of-the-mill theme, you drop it into a marketplace, you've got this huge audience that's going to say, here's a newly released theme. They're going to purchase it to try it out. Some are going to refund, but you're going to make a quick buck really fast, and then it will taper off.
Yeah,
so,
and you can sign up in minutes. The barrier to entry on a marketplace like ThemeForest, some of them you can sign up instantly and get started and have a theme up in days. So definitely.
Syed, what's your take?
I mean, I know a lot have been said about marketplaces, but if you definitely don't want to go with marketplace and you have a good number of themes, you can run with one of the many bundle websites that are out there that do flash sales instead of like giving your early share like 40-50% to a marketplace. You can give a 50% discount out to one of these bundle sites that have millions of subscribers, and that'll probably be the quickest way to make the money, right? Nice. But you can obviously go through the marketplace and compete with like tens of thousands of themes that are in there, and play your shots there.
What like for any of you guys, if you were to pick a number out of thin air and say, okay, if you were to run hard for 30 days to try and generate as much revenue as you could off a single theme, or in the case of Syed, maybe you had a small bundle of simple themes, but 30 days, are we talking about $1,000? Are we talking about $10,000? Are we talking about $100,000? How much revenue are we talking about in any of the models you guys were choosing?
I think in your own marketplace, the 30-day number does not apply. For us, we're not getting the most sales the first 30 days out. It's a couple months out after people have seen it, you've promoted it, you've gotten organic growth. So if it's on your own website, that's not going to apply within that 30-day window.
So how much money? So on the other, for the rest of you guys that we're talking about a marketplace, you throw a theme up, you sign up in seconds or minutes, you throw a theme up, and let's say you hit the wow, there's a group of people that are already showing up that like this. Are we talking about 1,000 in a month? Are we talking about 5,000 in a month? 10,000? 100,000? What are we talking about?
From my experience on ThemeForest, the early days anyway, where you could put a theme out, and in some cases it's always on the homepage, but it moved much slower, so your theme would be on the homepage much longer. You could easily generate a few hundred sales in a few days if it was the right kind of theme. And back then, it was very easy to do that because it was very ripe. And so I would say that absolutely, in certain instances, up over $5,000 if played right. Generally, though, these days, I would say 1,000, maybe less, just because the saturation on there is just crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, people just bring it in sometimes on these themes with the right tooling.
So let's anchor at 1,000. Tom, do you think WordPress.com could get you more than 1,000?
It depends, I think, a little bit on your brand recognition. Yeah. The short answer is yes. If you're someone who is well known, or if you're someone that has a reputation of some degree, for many it's not a bad reputation, and you put a theme out there, yes, you can get more than $1,000 within the first 30 days. If you're a nobody, there's no problem with that, and you put a theme out there, and you can probably make anywhere between $800 and $1,000 in the first 30 days, and maybe even the next 30 days as well.
Right. Okay. Syed, on the bundles, can you do a mighty? I don't remember what mighty deals or whatever. Can you do a bundle like that and get $1,000 in a month?
Easily. I mean, you have to have a decent offering, but yeah, you can get 1,000.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this question, because all you guys answered, you all went exactly where I thought you would, which is, you go to the marketplace because you got all the eyeballs. It totally makes sense. I get it. But what about this, right? Just theoretical, hypothetical. It's just out there. Why not make a targeted niche, very specific theme for a dentist or for a lawyer or for someone else in professional services, right? A tax attorney, right? You tax accountant, and sell that theme for $1,000, right? What does it take to say, okay, why not go after something that says, look, all I need is 2 or 3 tax friends, and give them the kind of the perfect solution, but still be template, right? Still. Mm-hmm. Get it down to a template, and sell it 2 or 3 times, right? Instead of hundreds of times. Any reason why that didn't come up as an option for anyone? I mean, you guys live it every day, so you'd know.
Personally, I can't speak for everyone else, but I just wouldn't go that route because it's kind of it's just boring in my opinion.
Hey, that's legit.
And yeah, no, totally respectfully, it's just we kind of, I mean, sure, if you're looking for the quickest buck, there are plenty of niches that you can dig into, especially those ones with deep pockets. But personally, I like to just challenge myself in these different little pockets of well-designed things in different areas. But surely that money is out there, and it's
all right, but
surprising that more people don't tap in.
That's a legit answer, right? It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Tom, any reason to think, skip the whole WordPress.com and go boring but high end?
I think that one reason that people have not done that is historically it's kind of like this gold rush where it's just you make a theme and quickly try to make a quick buck, and so people aren't thinking about WordPress in terms of software. Whereas you have these turnkey solutions for bookkeeping, and you have these turnkey solutions for managing where your remote employees are. No one's thinking about using WordPress for these $1,000, $1,200 themes, and so people are just creating these much cheaper, much more general purpose themes, and so. Personally, I would not be fulfilled, kind of like Mike, is just building a site for a lawyer or a tax attorney. But
got it. I totally get that. So I want to announce today, with 4 minutes left, that I am boring, and I'm going to find a couple of boring friends. Oh, Steve is raising his hand. Steve is boring.
I like boring.
Yeah, I tell people when I talk about my day job, right? I'm like, it's boring, but we have a nice revenue per employee out of a boring world. So. I'm going to have to follow up on this idea, because what it sounds like is it's just not emotionally fulfilling to do something that you sell only once or twice and to very boring people. But sometimes those boring people have very nice wallets. And so again, remember the initial question was, how do you maximize 30 days of revenue, right?
You're not like it's easy to say that you can sell for $1,000. What you're not considering is the sales force. If you have the sales force that are going to go, if you have those right friends that are accountants that will sell those $1,000 themes, then
Steve just raised his hand, Syed.
But I think you're looking at just the theme sale as opposed to what you can build onto the theme sale. I mean, you can sell the theme for $50 and charge them $1,000 to set it up for them, and then $150 per hour for SEO consulting, which we do. So it's not just the theme.
Hey, Rebecca, that's a totally different show, and you have to pay to watch that show.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, though, is that when we get to be your age, Chris, is when we will become
Hey, Tom McFarlin. I'm his age.
I think that's accurate.
I completely stopped listening after when I get to be your age, because, not because I was insulted, but because I try to keep all those secrets secret, right?
My bad.
There is a benefit to having been 20, living in my 20s and 30s. Eventually you get to your 40s and you're like, less work, more gain. This is a good equation. So,
and Tom, it's actually impossible for you to ever reach his age. Just because he'll always be ahead of you. I wasn't making fun of Chris's age.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of was. We can talk during here.
Hey guys, we have 1 minute left, and I do want to make sure that we one more time walk through who you are and what site people can go find your stuff at, because we want people to go there. But before we wrap up with that, I want to say we're going to hit episode 100 later in August. We're going to hit episode 100 later in August. To celebrate, a group of us are getting on a cruise and heading out of Long Beach down to Ensenada the same week that we do the 100th episode. Steve and Jason and I. Suzette, have you got your ticket yet?
Yes.
Yeah, we're taking the water cooler onto a boat and going down to Ensenada.
Because the bandwidth is so good.
Yeah, exactly. It's WP Cruise, so if you do a search in Google for WP Cruise and Chris Lema, you will find all the information. We'd love to have you join us celebrating our 100th episode. But with that, let's go back over to Mike and run through, or I think Mike was alphabetically the next guy. Give us the URL one more time so people know where to find your themes.
Yeah, sure. You can find me at array.is. Array.is.
Nice. Syed.
Yeah, you can find my themes on themelab.com, or you can find me on WPbeginner.com.
How about you, Tom?
You can find me. You can find my products at shop.pressware.co, and you can find me blogging pretty much every single day of the week at tommcfarlin.com.
Very nice. Hey,
Rebecca?
Our themes are all in our store at our Web Savvy Marketing website.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being on the show today. Make sure you go to our website, WPwatercooler.com, and click on the subscribe button there. You can also check us out. If you don't want to watch us and actually listen to us, you can subscribe to us on iTunes there, too. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.